This is Between the Lines. Today, we dissect the road less traveled.
Hello everyone, again Carol from Yolua, and as you can see I'm recording this at the same time I did the one before, so I will be doing this some days, some chapters in a row, but you will see it episodically. So now we have the next chapter, which has several tools for discipline and for understanding what we need to do in order to become you call it whatever you want, a better person, to grow up, we could say, to grow up and be mature enough as an adult that we are right now. But it is also, as you can see, for training or for educating children to be also disciplined and that. No more delay with that. This episode I called it Monkey See, Monkey Do, because in the chapter is called The Sins of the Father. And it has some connotations to relation and that kind of thing. And I rather make it more appealing to everyone. So, and basically, if I had to sum it up, it is what you do as a parent, your children will do, because what they see, they do. So that's why monkey see, monkey do. We will be talking about how children become disciplined at home, because remember we said last time that parents are responsible for what they do, the children will get from there. So if you help them understand that they need to delay gratification, for example, by doing first homework and then maybe going out or to play, or after that watching TV or playing with a tablet or a cell phone, parents have a huge participation in the upbringing of their children. And sometimes the doctor used to say that sometimes parents, it's not that they don't discipline their children, even sometimes they punish their children. Or at this time, remember, this time they used to punish physically their children, but not in a good way. Just it was a discipline that was undisciplined, he calls it. Undisciplined discipline. So it's not something really useful. And regarding role modeling, again, when we are children, again, this is written by a psychiatrist and psychologist, he says that we look up, we think that our parents are like godlike figures, and we follow them even if they don't do things in our best interest sometimes, because they don't know how or they haven't told how to. So if parents, for example, are used to fighting against each other in front of the children, or sometimes the doctor talks about situations where the parents beat the other parent and that kind of thing. And sometimes the parents say, okay, don't beat up your sister, for example, don't beat up your brother, but he does that to his mother, or vice versa. The children will actually understand that there's some incoherence then. Even if they cannot express that, they will understand that there's something rotten there. And they will think that the way the parents act is the actual way that life should be. So the parents, or I will say parents here, but maybe it's another person that has been taking care of the children, that person is the one that the children will look up and will try to copy the things they're doing. So, and I remember also I had a person that once told me that his father was drunk all the time in front of them as children, and he used to smoke a lot too. And he said, but my father always said, don't do as I do, do as I say. But those words with lack the backing of the real deeds are actually useless. And even in those cases when words are not enough and deeds are opposite or incoherent, Dr. Peck says that children who are exposed to love, who are loved, even when their parents are not completely coherent in their behaviors and that kind of thing, love is everything. Love is really even more important than the deeds they are doing, but really and deeply love. And he also says, if we love something, for example, I would say to you, think about something that you really, really, really love. I don't know, it could be a pet, it could be your car sometimes, it could be anything that you really, really like. You take care of that thing, right? You give it value, for example, to a pet, you pet your pet. You are loving to them, you feed them, you spend time with them. And so that is how, for example, in this case, children perceive that they are being loved. And this love helps us understand that they are valuable, and at a certain age, they start taking care of themselves and they become self-disciplined, all just by being loved. So love is a good creator, we could say, for self-discipline, and that self-discipline will become then, after some time, self-care. And another thing he mentions is that when parents discipline their children, again, it's not equal to punishment or to physical punishment or other type of punishment. He says that parents should, if they love their children, or when you love someone, it doesn't have to be your children. I'm saying children because the ideas that he said here. When you love someone, you pay attention, you observe them, how they are behaving, if they are doing something. When is the time to give it or giving him a praise, or maybe sometimes some correction for them. Okay, I've been seeing you that you're doing this is the right way to do it. That kind of things that parents do. If you are more loving and taking care and putting the time into the people you love, you can actually start to take them into a direction. You can direct them, you can help them be more disciplined, and at the same time it's important that you understand when and how and at what time, so when, yes, how, and which is the most appropriate, I say, discipline or correction or appraisal to give the children at the time, because it's not the same. For example, if it's I don't know, children drop something, maybe you can say, oh, I don't know, I am not a parent, so I don't really know, but you can give him a correction or a disciplinary action for them to do, but it's not the same if they drop a book into the floor than if they, I don't know, go out and beat other colleague at school. So there are different levels also of behaviors and different levels of discipline that you should be able to give to your children. And he also says that, and it came to mind. This I was at the wedding recently, and I was sitting with a couple, a married couple, and they had children. They had 2 children. It's something that we were talking about, how to deal with this social media stuff. When to give them the cell phone, at what age, and what they're doing. And the wife said, I feel I'm doing everything wrong. I don't know what I'm doing, because I don't know if I give the tablet to my children too much, they might be too addicted to screens. But if I take them from them, then they at school they will be missing out on things and that kind of thing. We were having that conversation, and I remember that Dr. Peck says, as a parent, when you make these decisions, you will have you will be suffering together with them, and I think that was a concern from a loving parent, a loving wife or mother, because she was suffering. I really don't know what to do, but she was putting thought into the matter. So she was trying to understand what was the best thing to do with her children, even though she had no a correct answer. So that is what Dr. Peck says, that a good parent should be able to suffer with the decisions regarding their children. So, and when you do that, he also says that children respond with gratitude. And I see that because, again, as I was saying, my parents had to do a lot of sacrifices and actions and through difficult times with us, with me and my sister, and I really appreciate that. I am super grateful for them, even though sometimes we all children say that even if I'm old, I'm still a children of somebody. And you also say, okay, my parents should have done this and that, or this way and that way, but they did the best they could with what they knew at the time. And I think about it now and I say, wow, it's really hard to be a parent, at least from what I see. And especially in these times, or maybe in every time, I don't know. But I don't know, I think that's something difficult to do, to make decisions. But if you are doing them from a loving heart, or a loving perspective, even if you are wrong, your children will understand in time about this. So yeah, I'm just grateful that they tried at least to do their best. It's getting a little bit hot here because in Buenos Aires we have in the morning it was super cold, and now it's becoming hotter and hotter and hotter. So wait a second. We have the onion wardrobes here. Everything is layer under layer. Okay. So yeah, when things are done out of love, children start to understand this self-discipline through homework, as we were saying. They start to delay the gratification, and they start to understand that some things have to be done in a certain way from their own discipline. And they say, okay, if somebody's teaching me this is of course unconscious, but if somebody's teaching me how to do things, it becomes a habit, and it also becomes a habit for me to be self-disciplined. And that self-discipline means scheduling, as we said before, scheduling pain and pleasure. So if I'm scheduling pain to be suffered and in the right amount of time and with the right tools, suffering is not that bad. And especially if I see my parents suffering somehow, I can understand that suffering is part of life. But if I only see things given to me, I say this willy-nilly, I mean, if everything is given to me and I do a tantrum and I get what I want, I'm not self-disciplined, and at the same time I don't value things, and at the same time I don't feel pain because everything is given to me right away. So I don't learn how to take care of myself either. So it's a change. It's a change, sorry. We start with love, and then we go into self-discipline and self-care. And finally, we get to trust, because if everything will be alright, even though we are in a moment of pain, and I know that I will overcome this, and I will grow, and I will be okay in the world, then I can also build trust upon myself, upon the world. I can feel safe and secure. And regarding this security, Dr. Peck says that we, at the age of 6 months of life, we start to individuate, we could say, from our parents and ourselves. We are an individual. We are not glued to our parents. From 6 months on, we start to understand that our parents can abandon us, and that we can and this abandonment means death in our unconscious. So sometimes even, this is really interesting, because he said, and some parents, what they do is they threaten their children, if you don't do this that I want you to do, I will leave you here, for example, that kind of thing. And for a child, that is really, it means this. It means that you are abandoning them to death. And this is really interesting also to know, because that's when their children, imagine the abandoned children, they develop this sense of nothing is worth, I can't take care of myself, I will be insecure all my life, and there's no safe place for me, I could die anywhere, any moment, and so why should I delay gratification? So it's everything is like a change of events that has to be built, and it takes time, of course. And coming back, because the doctor also comes back to the examples in the book, and remember this intelligent woman, this super competent woman that was working in finance, she had this procrastination issue, and at the same time she remembered that her parents didn't take care of her, didn't put the time into her, that she felt she was unvalued because she was left, for example, during vacation time or holiday time, she was left with a pet family, so she wasn't at home. Even their parents could have her with them, but they chose not to. So she felt abandoned, and she started to feel this sense of insecurity in the world. So it's really interesting that how things that we don't normally think about are building up us as people, and are helping us grow or not, and become more mature or not in our life. So, and I thought about this. Doctor doesn't say it right here, right now, but I thought about the. Sometimes we feel that what's the point of doing anything if we are not feeling secure, if we are not feeling loved, because we are not self-disciplined and we are not taking care of ourselves and we don't trust anyone. So it's really interesting to talk about that and to think in your life where are things that could come out of this. And of course, I am not a psychologist. If you need help from a psychologist, please go with a psychologist and have a session and that kind of thing. But just for reflecting and understanding why do we do and why we do the things we do, why do not do things that we should be doing or we think it would be nice for us to do. I think this is a great reflection. And wow, it's getting a bit more deep, this book. So I hope you find this interesting, and please comment what you can make so far about this. And I will leave you at this chapter, and we will continue talking about the chapter, the section of discipline, which is really huge in this book. So have fun and see you in the next episode. Bye bye.
Stay tuned for Ulua's next episode.